First contact beyond the veil. The frontier explorer hung against the backdrop of stars like a metallic dragonfly, its sleek hull gleaming in the distant light of unfamiliar suns. Captain Ileana Chen stood at the command center viewport, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling mass that filled half the visible sky. The dark nebula, a vast cloud of cosmic dust and strange radiation that had repelled all previous exploration attempts. Final systems check complete, Captain. Commander Raj Patel reported, his voice steady despite the tension that gripped the bridge. Shields are at maximum capacity. Quantum stabilizers online. Chen nodded without turning. And our alien friends? The Juravi delegation has formally registered their protest. Again. Patel couldn't keep the edge from his voice. Ambassador Kavath suggests we're demonstrating, and I quote, the characteristic human inability to recognize natural boundaries. A small smile touched Chen's lips. Noted. Did you remind them that natural boundaries is exactly what we specialized in crossing for the past 1,000 years? I was more diplomatic. But yes, the frontier explorer represented humanity's greatest achievement. A vessel designed specifically to penetrate the dark nebula, a phenomenon that had effectively halted expansion in this sector for every spacefaring species. The Galactic Council, dominated by older, more established species, had strongly advised against the mission. The most ancient among them, the crystalline Juravi, had been particularly vocal in their opposition. Communications, Chen called, turning from the viewport at last. Any final transmissions from Earth Command? Lieutenant Maya Wong shook her head. Nothing new, Captain. Last message confirmed green light for the mission. And I'm quoting Admiral Hassan here. Remember why we're out there. Not for territory, not for resources, but because the unknown calls to us. Chen nodded, feeling the weight of her command. The crew of 92, all volunteers, had trained for this mission for 3 years. They understood the risks. 3 previous alien expeditions had vanished without trace attempting to penetrate the nebula. All departments report ready, Captain. Patel confirmed. Dr. Nakamura says the new shield harmonics should counter the nebula's radiation effects. Should? Chen asked with a raised eyebrow. His exact words were, if my calculations are correct, which they always are. Chen smiled. Kenji Nakamura's confidence was legendary, matched only by his brilliance. If anyone could get them through safely, it was him. Navigation, she called, settling into her command chair. Begin approach sequence. Take us in, Lieutenant Cruz. Aye, Captain. Beginning approach. The massive engines of the Frontier Explorer pulsed to life, pushing the ship forward into the swirling mass of the nebula. On the bridge, displays flickered with data as sensors attempted to penetrate the cosmic cloud. Radiation levels rising. Science Officer Dr. Emily Winters reported. Shield harmonics adjusting. Holding stable. For several minutes, the ship progressed smoothly, the nebula's gases parting around their shields like water around the bow of an ancient seafaring vessel. Then came the first jolt. Quantum fluctuation. Winters called sharply. Massive energy spiked directly ahead. Evasive maneuvers. Chen ordered, but it was too late. A surge of energy washed over the ship, and for a moment, every system blinked out. The bridge was plunged into darkness before emergency lights kicked on, bathing everything in red. Status report, Chen demanded as the main system slowly rebooted. Main power offline, Paddle reported. Switching to auxiliary. Shields down to 30%. Hull integrity holding. Something's wrong with our navigation, Cruz added, his hands flying over his console. According to these readings, we've traveled. That can't be right. What is it, Lieutenant? Cruz looked up, his face pale in the emergency lighting. According to these readings, we've traveled over 800 light-years in less than 6 seconds. Silence fell across the bridge as the implications sank in. Such a jump should have been impossible. Dr. Winters, run a full sensor sweep, Chen ordered. Let's figure out where we are. As systems came back online, the view screen cleared to reveal not the expected swirling gases of the nebula, but open space, and directly ahead, a massive structure unlike anything they had ever seen. It appeared to be artificial, a vast lattice of silvery material spanning at least 1,000 kilometers, arranged in geometric patterns that seemed to pulse with inner light. "My God," Winters whispered. "Captain, I'm detecting energy readings off the scale. That structure is putting out more power than a small star." "Life signs?" Chen asked. "Inconclusive. There's some kind of energy field interfering with our scans." Before Chen could issue another order, the communication system activated on its own. A voice filled the bridge, speaking perfect English despite a strange, resonant quality that made it sound as if it came from everywhere at once. "Visitors, you have breached the veil. This is unexpected." The crew froze, looking to Chen. She stood slowly. "This is Captain Ileana Chen of the Earth vessel Frontier Explorer. We come in peace and in the spirit of exploration." There was a pause, then, "Human, we have not encountered your kind before. Your neural patterns are interesting, different from the others who attempted passage." "Others?" Chen asked sharply. "There have been other ships through the nebula. 17 attempts. All failed to maintain cohesion during transition." Chen exchanged a glance with Patel. 17 ships lost, not just the 3 they knew about. "We mean no intrusion," Chen continued carefully. "If we have trespassed, we apologize and will withdraw. Withdrawal is presently impossible. The transition corridor has collapsed. It will reform in what you measure as 72 hours. Chen's mind raced with implications. "Then we request permission to remain in position until passage is possible again." Another pause. "Permission granted. However, your vessel's presence has triggered ancient protocols. The Guardians must evaluate your species." "The Guardians?" Chen asked. In response, a section of the massive structure began to shift, components rearranging themselves to form what appeared to be a docking bay. "You will be guided to a secure location. Representatives will meet with you. Prepare yourselves." The communication ended abruptly. Chen turned to her officers, seeing the mixture of fear and excitement on their faces that mirrored her own feelings. "Well," she said with forced calm, "it seems we've made first contact. Commander Patel, assemble a landing party. Dr. Winters, Dr. Nakamura, Lieutenant Wang, you're with us. Lieutenant Kruz, you have the con. If we're not back in 12 hours or if anything threatens the ship, your orders are to withdraw to a safe distance and attempt to contact Earth when the corridor reopens." As the Frontier Explorer cautiously approached the docking structure, automated guidance systems took control, gently maneuvering the ship into position. Through the viewport, Chen could see that the structure's surface was covered in intricate patterns that seemed to shift and flow like liquid. The landing party assembled in the airlock, each member checking environmental suits and equipment. Chen had insisted on basic precautions despite readings indicating a habitable atmosphere within the structure. "Remember," Chen told them as they prepared to disembark, "we represent all of humanity here. First contact protocols apply. No aggressive moves, no assumptions. We observe, we learn, we communicate." The outer door opened to reveal a vast chamber that seemed impossibly large given their view of the structure from outside. The walls gleamed with the same flowing patterns they had observed externally, but here they could see the patterns were actually streams of light moving through the material like blood through veins. As they stepped into the chamber, a figure materialized before them, humanoid in general form, but clearly artificial. Its body appeared to be composed of the same flowing material as the walls, continuously shifting while maintaining its basic shape. "I am Interface," it stated, its voice the same resonant tone they had heard on the ship. "I have been constructed to facilitate communication between your consciousness patterns and the Guardians. You are the first new species to successfully navigate the veil in over 10,000 cycles." Chen stepped forward. "We are honored to meet you. We have many questions. As do the Guardians, Interface replied. Your neural patterns have already been scanned and found to be unique among known species. You possess an unusual combination of logical processing and intuitive leaps that interests the Guardians greatly. You scanned our minds, Dr. Nakamura asked sharply. Only surface patterns. Your thoughts remain private. The scan is standard procedure for all who enter Guardian space. Chen intervened before Nakamura could protest further. You mentioned others who attempted passage. What happened to them? Interface's form rippled slightly. Their vessels could not maintain structural integrity during transition. Their component materials were reintegrated into the veil matrix. The clinical description of what must have been horrific deaths sent a chill through the group. Why were we successful when others failed? Dr. Winters asked. Your vessel's shielding harmonics accidentally synchronized with the veil's resonance frequency, creating a stable passage. This was unexpected. Chen smiled slightly. Human history is filled with accidental discoveries. Indeed, the Guardians have observed this trait in your species' development. Your rapid technological advancement is unusual among emerging intelligences. You've been watching us, Wang asked. All spacefaring species are monitored. The Guardians maintain the boundaries between realities. It is necessary to evaluate potential threats. We're not a threat, Chen assured quickly. Interface's form shimmered in what might have been the equivalent of a shrug. That remains to be determined. The Guardians require direct interaction to make that assessment. They await you. Interface led them deeper into the structure, through corridors that seemed to reconfigure themselves as they passed. Eventually, they entered a vast spherical chamber whose walls displayed what appeared to be views of distant galaxies and strange cosmic phenomena. In the center of the chamber floated three entities that defied easy description. Forms of pure energy that constantly shifted between states of matter, radiating colors beyond the human visible spectrum. The Guardians welcome the humans. Interface translated as the entities pulsed with light. They wish to understand your purpose in breaching the veil. Chen stepped forward. We are explorers, seeking knowledge and peaceful contact with other intelligent life. The entities pulsed again, and Interface translated. Many claim peaceful intent. Actions reveal truth. The humans will be tested. Tested how? Chen asked, feeling a flutter of apprehension. 3 challenges to demonstrate your species' nature. Success will earn you knowledge beyond your current understanding. Failure will result in containment until your species evolves sufficient wisdom. Chen glanced at her team, seeing her own uncertainty reflected in their eyes. They had come too far to turn back now. We accept your challenges, she said firmly. When do we begin? Now, came the simple reply, and the chamber around them dissolved into light. The human element. The light coalesced into a new environment, what appeared to be a laboratory filled with technology far beyond human understanding. The Frontier Explorer landing party stood clustered together, disoriented by the sudden transition. What just happened? Lieutenant Wang asked, her hand instinctively moving to her side where her phaser would normally be holstered. Spatial displacement, Dr. Nakamura replied, studying their surroundings with wide eyes. Or possibly a simulation. Interface materialized before them. This is the first challenge. You must repair a damaged nexus node within 1 orbital cycle of this facility around its star. The tools and materials are available to you. Dr. Winters stepped forward. How can we repair technology we don't understand? That is part of the challenge, Interface replied simply. Previous species have been provided the same opportunity. Most fail. With that, Interface vanished, leaving the humans alone in the laboratory. At the center stood what appeared to be a crystalline structure approximately 2 meters tall, with numerous fractures visible throughout its surface. The Nexus node, I presume, Chen said, approaching it cautiously. Kenji, Emily, any ideas? The 2 scientists circled the device, careful not to touch it. Nakamura waved a scanner over its surface. Incredible, he muttered. The internal structure operates on quantum principles I have only theorized about. It appears to be a communication node of some kind, possibly connecting to other dimensions. Can we repair it? Chen asked directly. Nakamura and Winters exchanged glances. With enough time to study it, maybe, Winters admitted, but within one orbital cycle? I'm not even sure what that time frame means here. Approximately 26 Earth hours, Interface's voice announced from nowhere in particular. Chen nodded grimly. Then we'd better get started. For the next several hours, the team worked frantically to understand the alien technology. Nakamura and Winters analyzed the device's structure while Wong, who had additional engineering training, examined the available tools. Commander Patil organized their findings, creating a crude database of information. It's hopeless, Winters finally declared, slumping into a seat. The principles this operates on contradict some of our most fundamental understanding of physics. We'd need years of study, not hours. Chen refused to accept defeat. There has to be a way. The Guardians wouldn't set an impossible task. Unless the test isn't about success, Patil suggested quietly. Maybe it's about how we handle failure. Wong, who had been unusually quiet, suddenly spoke up. What if we're overthinking this? Look at these tools. They're designed for beings with appendages similar to ours. The Guardians expected us to use a physical approach. But the technology is far beyond our capabilities, Nakamura argued. Yes, but Wong hesitated, then continued with growing excitement. What if we don't need to understand how it works to fix it? Just like I don't need to understand quantum mechanics to restart a jammed replicator. She approached the damaged node. These fractures, they're physical damage. What if we just put it back together? That's absurdly simplistic, Nakamura scoffed. Maybe, Chen said slowly, but it's also very human. Let's try it. Under Wang's direction, they carefully began reconstructing the damaged crystal, using the available tools to fuse the fractures. To their surprise, once properly aligned, the crystal segments seemed to bind together naturally, as if they wanted to be whole. It's working, Winters exclaimed as the node began to pulse with inner light. Within hours, the Nexus node was restored, glowing with steady, pulsing energy. Interface reappeared, its form seeming to convey something like surprise. Success, it stated. Unexpected approach. Previous species attempted to comprehend the technology first. Humans are practical problem solvers, Chen explained. We don't always need to understand everything to fix something. Interesting. Proceed to the second challenge. The environment shifted again, and they found themselves standing in what appeared to be a control room overlooking a massive star map. Countless points of light were connected by lines of energy, forming a complex web. The cartography chamber, Interface announced. You must identify the anomaly threatening Sector 793 and determine the appropriate countermeasure. The star map was incomprehensibly vast, depicting what appeared to be multiple galaxies connected by strange energy pathways. This is impossible, Patil muttered. There are millions of star systems here. Yet again, the humans approached the problem with their unique perspective. Instead of attempting to analyze each system individually, Winters suggested they look for patterns in the data, irregularities in the flow of energy between systems. There, Wong pointed after several hours of observation. That cluster is pulsing out of sync with the others. They focused their attention on a distant sector where several stars seemed to flicker erratically. As they watched, one winked out entirely. Something's consuming the stars, Nakamura realized with horror. Some kind of energy parasite. The countermeasure, Chen reminded them. How do we stop it? Through trial and error, they discovered that the control room allowed them to adjust the energy flows between systems. By redirecting energy away from the affected sector and creating a kind of firebreak, they managed to isolate the anomaly. Acceptable solution, Interface announced when they had finished. The isolation protocol will contain the entropy cascade until permanent measures can be implemented. What was that thing? Winters asked. A reality flaw. They occur naturally when dimensional boundaries weaken. The Guardian's primary function is to prevent such flaws from spreading. The final challenge transported them to what appeared to be an ancient library, filled with crystalline data storage devices. The archive contains the accumulated knowledge of 100,000 civilizations. Interface explained. Your final challenge is to locate information relevant to your species' future development and justify your selection. This challenge proved the most daunting yet. How could they possibly know what knowledge would be most beneficial among such vastness? After much debate, the team decided to focus on sustainable energy technology, something that could help humanity overcome its resource limitations without destabilizing their home planet's ecosystems. An unexpected but revealing choice, the Guardians communicated through interface when they presented their selection. Most species choose weapons technology or faster-than-light enhancements. We have enough weapons, Chen replied simply. What we need is sustainable growth. The library dissolved, and they found themselves back in the original chamber with the three Guardian entities. The humans have completed all challenges, interface translated. Their methods were unconventional but effective. Their priorities suggest potential for beneficial cooperation. The Guardians pulsed with complex patterns of light. The humans possess unusual neural flexibility. They combine logical analysis with intuitive leaps in a manner we have not previously encountered. This quality may be valuable. Valuable how? Chen asked cautiously. The boundaries between realities face increasing pressure from entropy cascades. The Guardians have maintained these boundaries for millions of years, but our perspective has calcified. New approaches may be required. Chen felt the weight of cosmic implications settling on her shoulders. Are you asking for our help? We propose an exchange. The humans will be permitted to return to their realm with knowledge that will advance their development by approximately 200 years. In return, selected humans will be invited to study with the Guardians, bringing your species' unique perspective to our work. It was an offer beyond anything Chen had imagined when they set out to penetrate the dark nebula. Not just first contact, but partnership with entities who safeguarded reality itself. I cannot make such a decision for all humanity, Chen said carefully, but I can bring your proposal back to our leaders. Acceptable, the Guardians replied. The transition corridor will reopen shortly. Your vessel has been repaired and enhanced to ensure safe passage. As they prepared to return to the Frontier Explorer, Interface approached Chen privately. The Guardians rarely offer partnership, it said. Your species has impressed them deeply. Why us? Chen asked. We're newcomers to interstellar travel. Surely other species have more to offer. Age does not correlate with perspective diversity. The Jaravi have traveled between stars for 50,000 years, yet their approach to problems has not changed in millennia. Humans adapt. You see differently. This quality is rare and valuable. When the landing party returned to their ship, they found it not only repaired but improved, its systems operating at efficiencies their engineers had only dreamed of achieving. As the Frontier Explorer pulled away from the massive Guardian structure, Chen stood at the viewport watching it recede. Set course for the transition corridor, she ordered. We're going home. With quite a story to tell, Patel added beside her. Chen smiled. More than a story, Raj. A new beginning for humanity. The Guardians are right about one thing. We do see the universe differently, and sometimes that's exactly what's needed. As the ship accelerated toward the reopened corridor, the stars seemed to shine with new significance. Humanity had taken its first steps into a much larger reality, one where their unique perspective might prove to be their greatest strength. The Frontier Explorer slipped into the transition corridor, carrying home a message that would forever change the course of human history. They were not alone, and they had something valuable to offer the cosmos.